Everybody, welcome to another episode of DNA. I'm your host, Alex Cervantes, and on the screen next to me is Dion Moore, and we're going to be recapping real quick the wild card games that happened last week, and we're going to move on to the divisional round of the NFL with our predictions and our keys to the game. So let's just hop into it, bro. We'll go like chronological order, starting off with our Las Vegas Raiders going up against the Cincinnati Bengals in Ohio, and we did not come out victorious last week. We lost at the score of 26-19. Derek Carr had two key turnovers, one in the beginning of the game, one on the last play of the game. He had 54 passing attempts, which I'm pretty sure you would agree with me wouldn't be the recipe to a victory in this game. We definitely needed to feed Josh Jacobs more and,
Yeah,
pound the ball. He only had 13 carries. However, he had 83 yards, so he was effective on the ground, but we were playing from
yeah,
behind. And like I said on that last play, to me, it was a questionable play call. Got Darren Waller and Hunter Renfro running speed outs on fourth and goal, like not even anywhere close to, the end zone. Um, Jamar Chase had a pretty big game. I mean, it's tough for anyone to, try to stop him. He had 9 receptions for 116 yards, and Joe Burrow had 2 touchdowns. Mixon held to 48 yards on the ground, so I was really happy about that. Um, but I mean, we fell short, and our defense stepped up big, but we just didn't make enough plays to come out with the victory.
yeah. Um, I would have liked when we were on the goal line. Was like first and goal, second goal, second goal. Maybe get a little run in just to get a little closer
Yeah.
because we ended up. I think it was like 9 yards out, maybe. Yeah, something an inch closer. I know you want to pass the ball, but um, yeah, just the offense we didn't score in the red zone and just kicking field goals. I saw something. I wasn't paying attention to this, but because each of our offensive linemen were penalized in that game,
Like all of them?
and yeah, each one of them
Uh,
had one penalty.
oh, yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. It's just a tough game. We just need like a presence at receiver, I think, other than Renfro, just
Hmm.
especially in the red zone. That's what I think we really need.
Yeah.
Um, Trufant was getting done dirty by freaking Jamar. Yeah, I don't know. If I felt like we're down by 50, it was a fucking close game.
Especially at halftime.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. On the next year, I guess we'll see what happens.
And
But
I'm glad you brought up the penalties because I kind of like forgot about it because it's been like a week, But like, bro, you remember that drive we had three holding plays? I mean, holding plays. We had three holding calls on the
yeah,
same drive, which ended up in a field goal. Like,
yeah,
and like you said, each of our offensive linemen were penalized, and then we had like was it 5 or 6 pre-snap penalties? Like, man, this was a game where the Raiders, could have won this game. Too bad we didn't, but it was just definitely like self-inflicted mistakes, and then ultimately the last mistake, throwing a ball that didn't even reach the end zone, um, and your best weapons weren't like really a part of the play. Um, so, like you said, hopefully, next year we get situated with whoever's going to be our head coach. And GM and all that stuff. Quarterback. I mean, we got a couple of free agents. I think you said Casey Hayward's a free agent, so I want to see
yeah,
him back because he's definitely a CB1, and that's something that the Raiders haven't had since maybe damn, what's his name? He went,
Namdi,
yeah, yep. And then he went to Philly, yeah. So
yeah,
I mean, that's all I got to say. We try to keep it short. I think that was a pretty good recap for our Raiders. Hell of a season. Just fell a little bit
yeah,
short. I mean, hey, exceeded exceeded expectations for sure. Um,
yeah,
hey, it is what it is. I mean that Cincinnati squad they're playing today, and they definitely deserve to be in the playoffs. So we didn't get blown out.
yeah.
speaking of
Lucky for them.
blowouts, speaking of blowouts, bro, this Bills Patriots game
Mm,
was I think the biggest blowout of the weekend. The Bills won at a score of 47-17. Josh Allen was slinging dick all day. Dude had 5 touchdowns, no turnovers, 0 sacks, and to add 66 rushing yards. And dude, Devin Singletary, I mean, he led this Bills offense early on. I believe he had like 2 rushing touchdowns to start the game. He finished with 81 yards. Buffalo, as a team, had 174 rushing yards. On the flip side, Mac Jones had 2 interceptions, got sacked 3 times. He did have 2 touchdowns, but only threw for 232 yards. And if you remember, the first time they met, the Patriots just ran the ball down the Bills' throat. I know that was a weird game where fucking Mac Jones only threw the ball 3 times, but this time New England was held to 89 rushing yards. So, I mean, this was just dominance. I don't know if you have anything to add about this game, but 47-17.
Yeah. Not really. Defense knew they're good. And Josh Allen just freaking able to run and throw. Like, this is so hard to stop. It's so annoying. But yeah, they deserve to win. Obviously. Mac Jones. They're saying he's the best quarterback. He's a tough game, but they made him throw. They beat him when they had to run. They made him throw. They took the L twice. So I don't know. We'll see. I got the Bills going all the way. So
Yeah, yep, definitely liking your pick so far for the representation of the AFC. Josh Allen and them boys, no joke, man. I mean, one of the teams we talk about all year, and we talk about them for a reason. I mean, super, super good offense. So we're gonna go to the last game, or not the last game. I think this game was actually on Sunday. Anyways, Tampa Bay
yeah,
Buccaneers dominate the Eagles. They beat them at a score of 31-15. The great Tom Goat, the goat Tom Brady, my guy, 29 for
I can't even say
37.
it.
Yeah, shut up, bitch. The goat Tom Brady went 29 for 37 on this day, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 4 times. I mean, early on in this game, it looked like the Eagles, you know, they were stopping him. They were definitely getting after Tom Brady, making him, throw the ball faster than he wanted to. But this Eagles offense just could not handle the pressure from Tampa Bay. Um, Jalen Hurts went 23 for 43, 258 yards, had 1 touchdown, but had 2 interceptions. And the Eagles, their strength, I'm pretty sure you would say, would be their rushing game, especially with Hurts, but they were held to 95 yards combined. Um, and dude, their leading receiver was Godert. He had 6 receptions for 92 yards. But their actual leading receiver was Smith, who had 4 receptions, and that was from 11 targets. And the other receivers had less than 4 receptions. Eagles had 3 turnovers. This offense could not really do anything against that Bucks D.
Yeah. Bucks D line freaking getting pressure. JPP, Sue, Vita Vea, fucking Shaq Barrett. Uh, this is ridiculous. Yeah, and then Devin White running it fucking everywhere. It just it made me get mad again that we drafted Cleveland Farrell and not Devin White. But
Shit.
yeah, it just that defense was flying. Hurts couldn't get anything done. I mean, they started coming back at the end, but that's like most people do that. You come back at the end. Not really much to talk about. But yeah, the defense is gonna have to step up this next week. They got a high power offense to run against.
Definitely.
So I guess that'll be the real test.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely agree with you. And not only that, my friend, the other side of the ball for that Los Angeles Rams team is definitely up there in high caliber. So it's going to be a good test for Tampa Bay. Definitely not on the same level as the Eagles. Um, so yeah, Bucks
Yeah.
beat the Eagles 31-15 to go on to the divisional round. The next game to me was probably the best game of the divisional round, featuring the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. 49ers prevailed, winning at a score of 23-17. A lot of speculation at the last play of the game, but before I go there, I'm going to bring it back and read a couple of statistics. I mean, Jimmy G was pretty mediocre on this day. He went 16 for 25, 172 yards, no passing touchdowns, and 1 int. But San Francisco's rushing attack. Definitely led the way. Elijah Mitchell had 27 carries for 96 yards and a touchdown. Debo Samuel had an amazing rushing touchdown to his 10 carries, which added up to 72 rushing yards. And Debo Samuel can do it all. I mean, we've been seeing it all year, whether he's obviously catching the ball, but they've been using him. Kyle Shanahan been using him in the backfield, sending him in motion, handing him off the ball. And that's what you got to do, man. You got to give, your star players plays to get shit done. Super electric. On the flip side, Dak went 23 for 43, 244 or 254 yards, one touchdown, one int, but he got sacked 5 times, so he was definitely feeling the pressure from this 49ers defense. And dude, I think I didn't write down the exact number, but I think Zeke had like 32 rushing yards. Dallas was held to 77 total rushing yards. Amari Cooper had a pretty good game. He had one touchdown. Coop, Schultz, and Wilson all had more than 60 yards. But you talk about him a lot. CD Lamb, one of the best receivers for sure, maybe top 5, but for sure top 10 in this league, but he was held to one reception, bro, for 21 yards. And this leads to what I opened up with, controversial play, last play of the game. Dak didn't hand the ball or didn't find the ref and give him the ball so that he could touch it and try to spike it in order to try to tie the game. Don't know what would happen if they did, but the game ended without a last play to try to tie the game when he ran the ball for like 16 yards or some shit like that. Um, so yeah, I mean, to me, my opinion, I'd like to hear after your analysis or maybe straight up right now if like what you think about that last play, because to me, like that's on Dak, bro. Like you have to know, we've been seeing it. Um, that these NFL players should know what to do in those certain situations. They practice those plays, and he did not um, do what he was supposed to.
Yeah, I'll just get to it now. Uh, yeah, I just agree with everything you say. Fucking, I just hate in that post game interview, Dak was like blaming the refs. I'm
Mm,
like, you're still down by what, 7 or 8? Like, you'd have to throw a 30, 40 yard touchdown.
yeah,
So, I mean, how likely is it? I mean, the percentage is really low. You can't blame that after you've had a horrible game. And we always talk about all the weapons they have. Like, I don't know, they should have won. It's a very disappointing game. I mean, it ends up being a disappointing season
yeah,
because you play good, except for teams that are in the playoffs. I think they all their losses came to playoff teams. I think so. It's
probably.
just like I don't know. I'm just real mad about them losing because it's like they can't score, but they have Zeke, Tony, Coop, CD. Like there's
Yeah,
not a problem there. They're
yeah.
just not scoring. And then Kellen Moore is getting head coach offers and stuff. He's the OC. I was like, what's happening? But I don't know. It's just frustrating to watch because I had them winning. And I was like, maybe they won't disappoint me. But we talk about all season that they're gonna disappoint, and yeah, they did.
If
But yeah,
do you know if they were 11-6 to finish the regular season?
I don't know. Why is
Because
this like a consistent thing?
no, because what I was gonna say was they went 6-0 in the division. So if you take away 6 wins
Uh,
from their total record, that's their record outside of the division,
12-5.
12-5. So they went
Yeah,
6-5 against the rest of the teams in the league. So
yeah,
that's about, well, yeah, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, definitely we talk about it all the time, dude, and it sucks because of that high caliber offense. But we're just so used to
yeah.
seeing them do this shit. So yeah, hats off to the 49ers. They almost choked it, but they ended up coming up with the dub. They did. They played well. And yeah, we'll talk about 49ers coming up. The next game we're going to talk about is going to be the game featuring the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. The Chiefs rolled over the Steelers and they beat them at a score of 42-21. Patrick Mahomes almost had a good of a day as Josh Allen, but he did have one int. He also had 5 touchdowns. He went 30 for 39, 404 yards. I wanted to give Jared, I think his name's Jared or something with a J, but McKinnon, that running back, he definitely had a stamp in this game as he had 12 carries for 61
Yeah.
yards, 6 receptions for 81 yards, and a touchdown. Travis Kelsey threw a passing touchdown, I believe, to Pringle. Pringle had 2 touchdowns in this game. Kelsey, not just throwing the ball. Obviously, he's one of the best, or he's probably the best tight end in the game. He had 5 receptions for 108 yards and another touchdown. Um, Big Ben, 29 for 44, 215 for 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. But, dude, this offense was anemic. Najee Harris, 12 carries for 29 yards, and that's definitely probably the strength of this team. Najee Harris, we talked about him a lot this year,
Yeah.
had a lot of breakout players of the week. Their leading receiver was James Washington, who had 2 catches, bro, 37 yards. He did have a touchdown, but the biggest thing um, from this game was Kansas City scored 35 straight unanswered points, and that's why they ended up winning 42-21. Just stomped on them.
Yeah. I didn't want to watch the game because they already whooped their ass, so I didn't really watch it. I don't have much to say on it, but I feel like it's not that much of a Cowboy situation. Steelers have a great defense, and then they do have Najee, uh, James Washington, uh, whatever. But they had Claypool
Juju was
and
back for this game.
Deontay Johnson,
Yep, Deontay Johnson. Yep.
and Juju was back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, Big Ben has weapons, but he's just a little old. I
Yeah.
mean,
And he's had them
yeah,
all year. The Steelers are a team that squeaked into the playoffs thanks to the Las Vegas Raiders. Shout out, fuck the Chargers. Anyways, so yeah, dude. Chiefs roll over the Steelers, 42-21, and that brings us to our last game. This was on Monday night, and I'm sure you agree with me as well on this. I was pretty hyped up for this game. I thought it was probably going to be one of the best matchups of the divisional round, and it was very disappointing because the Cardinals, mostly Kyler Murray, did not show up. The Rams beat the Cards 34-11. And Dion, if I told you Matthew Stafford only threw the ball 17 times, what would you think? It's kind of weird, right?
oh yeah, it'd be like the dude fucking is always in the ball. He has the most attempts in the freaking season.
So that brings on to what I'm about to say. Stafford went 13 for 17, 202 yards, 2 touchdowns. Those touchdowns were to ya boy Odell Beckham Jr. and my boy Cooper Kupp. Both of them had over 50 receiving yards. Odell Beckham also had a very nice play throwing the ball downfield for 40 yards. He completed that pass. But now let's talk about the not so good performance from Kyler Murray. Terrible day. 19 for 34, 137 yards, 2 interceptions, including a just horrendous pick six. I told you about it earlier. Probably should have just took the safety. He tried. I don't know what he was really trying to do, but he ended up just throwing a duck, and the defender caught the ball literally like at the 2 or 3 yard line and walked into the end zone. Excuse me. And the Arizona Cardinals only had 61 rushing yards, and you saw how good and productive James Conner and Edmonds when he was there. But for me,
Yeah,
the Rams defense showed what they've been doing the last, 2 to 3 seasons, just absolutely dominating. They shut out the Cardinals in the first half. They were leading up 21-0, and they ended up beating, probably cruise control the rest of the game. Cam Akers looked nasty, and I just want to shout out to Cam Akers
yeah,
because, dude, apparently he told Matthew Stafford after he tore his Achilles that he was going to be back for playoffs, and Matthew Stafford kind of like was like, okay, like yeah, bro, and he's back, and he looks good, bro, like strong,
yeah,
fast, like he looks good, bro. So yeah,
yeah. I didn't watch much of this one either. The happy Odell got that playoff dub. More passing yards than Baker in the playoffs. put that out. Um, but yeah, I haven't seen nothing. Saw the pick Tyler threw, fucking abysmal. Just disappointed about that performance. He didn't have D Hop, but they haven't had D Hop for a minute. They're still able to win some games. But yeah, Rams, they're going. They're the Packers' biggest threat. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens this week. But yeah, how did Ramsey play?
Um,
Is it Dolan?
I'm not really too sure. It was just like they they just couldn't move the ball. Um, like I said, I
Yeah, he
watched.
only had 137.
Yeah, I watched like a half, and then I forgot what I was doing, but yeah, they couldn't really get nothing going.
Yeah. Uh,
But yeah, 137. I'm pretty sure he was solid. So for sure, bro. Good shit. I mean, that concludes our wild card recap. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed it. And then we're going to roll over into our picks, predictions, and keys to the game for the divisional round. We got four great matchups, two today, two tomorrow. You know, winners of these games go to the conference championships, one step closer to the Super Bowl. And the first game features the full strength Tennessee Titans going up against those Cincinnati Bengals who are looking hot the last few weeks, you know. And this game for me, we'll see how effective the return of King Henry is going to be. I really hope he looks good, but if not, they also got is it Devontae Foreman or something Foreman? He's been solid
yep.
since Henry's been out, but the captain of this team for sure when Henry's out is going to be Ryan Tannehill along with AJ Brown, and I got Tennessee winning this game at a score of 33-27. Like I said, it really depends on how effective Derrick Henry is, but whether whatever degree of effective he is, I think Ryan Tannehill is going to have two, maybe three touchdowns, and AJ Brown is going to have over 10 receptions, over 100 yards, and probably a TD. And on the flip side, I think
Yeah.
Jamar Chase is obviously going to ball. Um, Joe Mixon, I think he's the key to Cincinnati's success. Not only rushing the ball, but if he can get a couple of catches to move the chains, and I mean he's a threat out of the backfield for scoring too. But I got Tennessee going to the Super Bowl. I actually had them winning the Super Bowl. You know, Dion a couple weeks ago, and I had them I think in the beginning of the year as well. So I'm just gonna roll with
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Yeah. Last week we're talking about Bengals Raiders. We picked the Raiders. And I was like, oh, Bengals been hot. They got to cool off. I was like, oh, they didn't cool off last week, but I think they're gonna stay hot and beat the Titans 35-20. I just, I don't know. I don't see anyone stopping the offense. We got a couple stops. We do have a good ass D line. Um, but yeah, Jamar go off. Can't double Jamar. But then they got T and Tyler.
And Boyd,
Uh, yeah. So I'm excited to see King Henry back. I don't know how well he's gonna do. I know he got like 2 full contact practices this week. They said. So hopefully, I want to see him out there running, but
yep.
I don't know. I just think the Bengals too hot right now.
Okay, I respect that. I respect that. So Dion's got Cincy. You said I scored 35-20. I want to make sure I wrote that right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. That's gonna move on to your boy Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers playing on that frozen tundra. Gonna go up against the San Francisco 49ers. And
Yeah.
man, these two teams, talk about playoff history. These two teams have been going at it for probably like the last decade, even going back even a few more years or maybe a decade before that. Anyway, it's 2022, and I got Green Bay winning this game at a score of 34-24. Like, San Francisco, a lot of credit to this team and this coaching staff. I mean, they've had a really great year, under the radar year. Debo Samuel, one of the best receivers or players like in the game, along with this defense that like this entire team to me is just under the radar. They're underappreciated. A lot of people don't talk about them, especially because of the division they're in. You know, the Cardinals were 10-2 or whatever, and then you got obviously the Rams who are the favorite. But they're here in the divisional round going up against the number one seed, Aaron Rodgers. You tell me all the time, and I can't negate facts. This guy does not turn over the football. He throws 3 to 5 touchdowns every fucking game. He's got the best receiver in the league to go along with a really great dynamic duo in the backfield with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Their defense, there are no scrubs. I think they're primarily healthy. And on the other
Yeah,
side of the ball for the 49ers, their offense, I don't trust Jimmy G, especially against this Green Bay defense on the road. I think he's gonna have probably like 1 or 2 key turnovers. Aaron Rodgers don't make turnovers. He makes touchdowns. He gets points, and I see him having a fucking Aaron Rodgers type of day.
yeah, couldn't agree more. The Packers side, future Raider Devontae Adams go off. Um, yeah, Jimmy G almost freaking costing them the game against Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers team gonna come out. They got the extra week off, rested. 10 degrees out there. They used to that. But
Shit,
yeah,
really?
I have the Packers 38-21. Yeah,
38-21.
but yeah, I should like them a little. I hate a little late, but
It's all good. Hopefully, I don't know, I'll rewatch it. And hopefully, it's not that bad. But yeah, I've been seeing that too. But ni modo. So next game, the LA Rams are gonna go to Tampa Bay to face my boy Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'll go ahead and I want to hear your analysis on this game first.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I want to go first. Good. So I got the Rams winning 31-17.
Mm.
Um, Good defense on both sides. Rams offense, I would say, is a notch better than the Bucks, just because Bucks are depleted. Um, but yeah, I see the Rams going out. Odell having a good day. Coop having a good day. I mean, that's his freaking bare minimum. It's a good day. Um, but yeah, I think I'd be more than happy to see the dump off king lose. I'm ready. But yeah, I'm just excited for this game. Can't wait. What about you?
uh, um, I mean, obviously, you know my feelings towards Tom Brady and the Bucks, but like you said, they are depleted on the offense side of the ball. I don't know if Fournette is going to be playing in this game. I forgot to check, but either way, it's just more of the receiving core and what he doesn't have. And you already know Jalen Ramsey is going to be on Mike Evans. That's going to be a hell of a matchup. So if Jalen Ramsey is able to, slow down or shut down Mike Evans, it's going to be a terrible day for Tom Brady, especially with that front four from the LA Rams trying to get after him. But I got the Rams winning this game at a score of 30-26. I also think that the Rams have the edge on the offense side of the ball, not just because the Bucks are depleted, especially at the receiving core, but I mean, we just talked about Cam Akers, and I think he's gonna be a key in this game along with Henderson Jr. and Sony. They got Sony Michelle, right? I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's that's a pretty good trio in the backfield, along to go with Matthew Stafford, Odell Beckham Jr., Tyler Higbee, Cooper Kupp, Van or Jefferson Jr. Like it's just so many offensive weapons, and then you already know Sean McVay. I talk about him a lot. So yeah, all around coaching staff, receiving core, running backs. Um, the way I can see Tampa Bay winning this game is if somehow Tampa Bay starts scoring points on defense and giving Tom Brady a short field. Um, but yeah, I think this is the week that is the biggest test so far for Tampa Bay. Um, but I don't think I think this is where they lose. I think this is where they get off the bus.
Yeah, I like that.
Unfortunately, um, last game, and I talk about it with you early on. This slate, bro, is like straight football porn, bro. All these
Yeah,
matchups are just phenomenal. I was gonna say this is probably the best matchup, but it's just no. It's they're all really close. Nonetheless, the last game is
yeah,
gonna be the Buffalo Bills going up against Kansas City in Arrowhead. It's the number 2 seed against the number 3 seed, and both of these teams high powered offenses for what the last 3 seasons. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelsey. I mean, so many superstars in this game, and it's gonna be tough. I definitely think it's gonna be a shootout, and although I'm a Raider fan, I really respect and like this Kansas City roster and Andy Reid. I'm sure you love Andy Reid. Um, but
yeah,
I think not so much handing off the torch, but I just think from seeing what I've seen this year, Kansas City a little too inconsistent, and Buffalo is just like how you were saying about Cincy. They're hot, and Josh Allen and them boys are hungry. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they lost to Kansas City last year in the AFC Championship or whatever game it was where Stephon Diggs
yeah,
stayed after the celebration. Stephon Diggs, Loki had a quiet game last week, 3 receptions, 60 yards, no tutties. Kansas City, we talk about it all the time because we're very familiar with them. Kind of sus on D, especially in that secondary.
yeah,
Stephon Diggs, definitely looking at Stephon Diggs, obviously along with Josh Allen, to have a hell of a day. With that said, I'm going with Buffalo, 41-37 to go on to the AFC Championship and knocking off the Kansas City Chiefs.
yeah. I agree with everything you said. I think their offenses are very similar, explosive wise. So like, okay, they both have great offenses. Then you look at the defense. It's like Bills' defense is fucking good. Chiefs, you're struggling. They're catching up most of the time. That's why they can win games because their offense is so good. But yeah, I had the Bills winning 40-33. Um, yeah, Mahomes, Allen both get loose, both throw deep balls. I just really think it's gonna rely on whoever turns the ball over and gives the other team that little extra possession. Um, but yeah, I think it'll be a good fucking game.
Hella, bro. Hella. So we are on the same page this week, except for this first game that kicks off in I think maybe like a half hour, less than an hour. You got Cincy, I got Tennessee, but we
Yeah.
both got Green Bay, Los Angeles, and Buffalo. I do got to throw in the record from last week. I was 5-1 with the predictions, and you were 3-3. Sorry, bro, but hey, you went with a lot of upsets. You went with one or two upsets, I guess. Um, you shouldn't have won against Tom Brady to go, but yeah, the Eagles. Anyways, um, I think that's it, man. I mean, next week we get another week closer to the Super Bowl, and football fans, sit tight. Hold a cold one, make some good food. Make sure you got your popcorn ready, like Terrell Owens
Yeah.
said, because this is going to be a hell of a weekend. This divisional round, I think, is probably going to be one of the best football weekends that we've had in the last couple of seasons. Super excited to see all these teams give it their all. And if you got anything else, I think we're about good as done for here.
I think that's it. We'll be having we'll start getting into our draft shit. Hopefully, we get a coach soon. Raider side, draft, fucking prospects, coach,
Mm-hmm.
GM, all that. So
Derek Carr was good.
yeah,
Yeah,
excited.
for sure, for sure. One more time for the people. AJ Brown, baby, let's go. Arthur Juan. Um, but yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Your boy, Alex Cervantes, Dion Moore, we out.